Kiddies, what up, what up? Welcome to Primal Screen. This is your host, Nick Graystone. For the next hour, we're going to talk about fantasy, reality, and everything in between. Let's go.
Whoa. I guess I'm still fucking sick, man. Whoa. I couldn't, I just lost my breath. Tony, you took my breath away.
Well, story of my life.
Take my breath away. Yeah, yeah. What up, kitties? Nick Graystone back in the house. Barely. Wow, this last week kicked my ass. I was down for the count, man. I had RSV. I think I still might have it. I don't know. I'm taking like over-the-counter stuff. But I don't know. I think it makes my voice sound sexy, kind of like Demi Moore, the new Golden Globe winner, Demi Moore. We're going to be talking about her in a little bit. And we're also going to bring out our special guest tonight, promoting his new film. But I wanted to get into some shit today and talk to you about the current situation with P. Diddy. P. Diddy supposedly, then this is from New York Post, supposedly he is throwing tantrums in lockdown because he's not liking the attention that Luigi Mangione is getting. You see, you gotta, every time you go there, you gotta go, hey, oh, and talk with the hands here. Forget about Luigi Mangione. So Sean Diddy Combs right now is throwing tantrums, and he's saying that this kid is on his shit list. Now, a shit list from Diddy could be two possible things. It's either he's making some kind of Shizer film in his like the kinky sex parties, like back in the day, or it's like a shit list, like an actual, like orchestrating a hit on your best friend and capitalizing on his murder with a hit song and a record. So what kind of shit list is this kid on? I don't know, Luigi. You better watch out, though, Diddy. Obviously, we know that this kid can shoot, so it's kind of bad to make fun of him, I know. But, as of these last couple of weeks, Luigi Mangione is becoming like a Robin Hood type of iconic prisoner right now. Word has it that he is sharing his commissary with some prisoners and winning them over. So I could just imagine Tuesdays is pasta night, all you can eat at Luigi's and C Block. So I don't know. If I were you, P. Diddy, I would just try to keep a low profile. And but who the hell am I? I don't know nothing. All right, now getting moving right along. The when I was talking about my sexy voice being sick and all, and Demi Moore, I have nothing on her. Look at this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman. She looks fantastic, and she's holding that Golden Globe, and it looks good on her. And congratulations to me. She just won for The Substance, and that was my favorite movie of the year. It's awesome that horror in that type of form, which it's a totally over-the-top, crazy film. I don't even know if I would recommend it to people because not many people like that type of horror, but I love it. And I even love when these types of movies get nominated and get taken seriously. And it was such a cool moment when she won, and she had such a great speech when she was up there, and you could tell that she was surprised and everything. And I'm going to read a quote from that speech. It's in those moments we don't think we're smart enough or pretty enough or skinny enough or successful enough or basically just not enough. I had a woman say to me, just know you never will be enough, but you can know the value of worth if you just put down the measuring stick. And as of today, I celebrate this marker of my wholeness and the love that is driving me, and for the gift of doing something I love and being reminded that I do belong. That is awesome. That sounds like somebody that felt undervalued, like, she's underrated, or she just felt like, maybe, Hollywood passed her by, and now she's just living through the memories that she, was a brat packer and never taken seriously or whatever. She even talks about that, like someone told her back in the day that she was a popcorn actress. I really don't know what that means. Is that like that popcorn trick? I mean, she's hot, so maybe a lot of popcorn tricks happen during her films. I, for one, I don't know if I ever did that to her movies. I probably did. I mean, I jerked off to Carrie, so I mean, I can say that I probably jerked off to a Demi Moore movie. But that's disgusting. I don't want you to think about me jerking off. And speaking of jerking off, I want to talk about Anora. This movie here, holy shit. I'm in love with Mikey Madison. She's up for awards now, and rightfully so. This movie I watched the other night. It's directed by Sean Baker. It's about a girl that's a stripper, and she runs into this Russian dude who's got a lot of money, throws a lot of money at her, and basically it just has like that Scorsese like build up, like life is going awesome, and then all of a sudden it just fucking tanks. And go check it out. It's very like the Safdie brothers. Like they film it. Like I'm laughing at one point, anxious as fuck at the next, wondering what's gonna happen. I love movies that are filmed in New York City. I just love that because that's a character in itself. And I started watching his other movies. Last night I watched The Florida Project. I don't know if anybody have seen that. That's a fucking heartbreaking movie. Really well done. Check that out. I'm going to also check out Red Rocket. That's another movie that I heard that was pretty good. Selfies and shit. Cool. All right. Well, I think that wraps up my wrap-up. And I want to bring on my special guest who's getting into the selfie game himself right now. And he also brought gifts with him tonight. This is awesome. Thank you very much. Mr. Bob Heckman, how are you, sir?
Hey, how are you? Oh, man.
All right.
Thank you. Can we get everybody at Governors to come in here?
Yeah. Tim Gage is sitting over here somewhere.
Awesome.
Yes, thank you. Yes, Bob came in tonight. He is the writer and director of Victim No More. It was a Friday the 13th fan film that came out in...
No. It was a Substance fan film. I did it before the actual movie came out.
Oh, really? The Substance?
2 years ago, I did the fan film for The Substance.
You had me at The Substance, brother. And what substance that is, we'll never know.
Honestly, I thought you were going to say Demi Moore finally won the Golden Globe for her role as Cassandra from the 1986 classic One Crazy Summer.
Oh, dude, I love that movie.
That's
I just watched it the other day.
It's a great movie.
If I could grow wings, I could do anything.
It's a bonfire. Get the marshmallows.
My favorite part of that movie is when Bobcat Goldthwait is like talking about kind of like he's having like a heart-to-heart moment with Booger. And he's like, Curtis Armstrong, I call him Booger, but he's like, let me tell you a little story about a fat kid that no one loved. And he had this twin brother. And he's like, why don't you look like
fat? Why are you so fat? And I beat the shit out of him.
Egg, were you the little fat boy? No. I used to kick the shit out of him.
Egg Stork.
Eggs, the Stork twins.
The Stork twins.
Oh, yeah, man.
We can just talk about that instead of Victim No More.
We should make a fan film of fucking One Crazy Summer. There's so many great characters in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, what's his name? Niedermeyer from Animal House is in that.
Oh, yes. The father.
The
you're
father.
talking about,
What
yeah.
the hell is his name? In real life?
Beckerstead.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Right.
Mr. Beckerstead. Beckerstead Estates.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're trying to take away.
And Bobcat dresses up like Godzilla and smashing
all the shit.
Oh, it was great. It's so funny.
The girl with the dog and like she hits the kids with when they're making fun of her and stuff.
And their faces freeze.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, what a classic. What was
all right? 3 hours of talking about One Crazy Summer. I'm ready to go.
I'm trying to think of the director. Savage, right?
Savage Steve Holland. He also did Better Off Dead, How I Got Into College, and a bunch of Nickelodeon shows and stuff like that.
Those are two great flicks that you just mentioned, though. Man, John Cusack.
Better Off Dead is one of my top 5 favorite comedies of all time.
Oh, dude. I love the mailman, like the little thing. Because I was a mailman at one point in my life.
Taylor Negron?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me, Bastian, what's a little man like you doing with such big boy smut like this?
And he's also in One Crazy Summer.
Yes. And he was the pizza delivery guy in Fast Times.
Fast Times, yeah.
And he was also...
Rest in peace, by the way.
Rest in peace, Taylor Negron. Can I call you Dad from Easy Money? And also, you think you're just so fucking cool, don't you, Joseph? From fucking Last Boy Scout.
Yes.
Speaking of Demi Moore, Mr. Demi Moore, Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
We haven't had any updates on how he's doing. I heard he was really sick, man.
Yeah, he's just getting worse.
That sucks.
But happy news.
Happy news. Yeah, we got to move forward. We can't talk about the sad stuff anymore.
No. We don't want to talk about the fires in L.A.
No. No, the fires in L.A., man. It's just horrific.
Yeah, it's
shit.
Terrible.
Yeah, man. Like Kevin Smith posted a video today saying that, excuse me. Whoa. He posted a video of like Runyon Canyon where it kind of stopped and they thought that it was going to go into the Hollywood Hills and everything.
Yeah.
But they were saying like a lot of celebrities lost their homes and everything. A lot of people. I saw the newscast with Steve Guttenberg too.
Yeah, where he's helping parking cars and trying to get, fire trucks to get through or whatever he was doing. I mean, that guy is a saint.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's like the sweetest dude in America,
And he wasn't even like trying to like say he was Steve Guttenberg, like the actor. He was
no,
just
the news
like,
reporter didn't know.
He didn't even know he was.
No.
He was just a good Samaritan doing a good thing.
That's right.
Thank you, Captain Mahoney. We love you.
He would be captain by now.
He would be.
I think he left as sergeant.
Don't you think that, like...
Are we going to talk about Police Academy now? Because it's
my
favorite comedy franchise of all time.
Like...
I just had a Police Academy marathon at my house a couple of months ago. Watched all 7 films.
How the fuck are we just meeting for the first time, dude? This is crazy.
Another Bobcat franchise we got to talk about. How come Bobcat never did a Friday 13th movie? That's what I want.
Oh, man, that would have been sweet. Imagine him like talking.
It would have been
Jason.
Sweet Chuck.
Sweet Chuck. Get this animal out of here.
He's an animal.
Well, what the hell is the song?
There are Police Academy references in Victim No More, by the way.
They are.
There are.
Really?
Yes. I made very subtle connections.
Okay.
In the very first scene, the main character, Robbie, he's wearing a Blue Oyster T-shirt.
Oh, my God. Really?
Yeah.
My favorite bar.
It might be his, too. Oh. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that the Police Academy universe is in the same universe as Friday the 13th. When you're making fan films, just it doesn't matter. Do whatever you want, Yeah. So, I love Police Academy. And actually, in that scene, in the first scene, in Victim No More, he's talking to a therapist about his mom and his dad never understood what his mom went through because his mom's a final girl, a survivor of Jason. The script was a little bit longer, explaining that she had retired from the police force, and I was going to make it that his dad was Mahoney.
Wow.
And actually, at the very end of the movie, he says his name, and you think, well, because his mom is Trish Jarvis,
right?
You think he's going to say Jarvis, but people get married, they change their names. He says at the end of the movie, "My name's Rob Mahoney."
So
the girl he's walking with says, "I know." So so Police Academy, and if you look very closely while he's driving around looking for Camp Crystal Lake, there are Police Academy stickers on his car.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, dude. That's so awesome. Well, I didn't pick up on that.
No, most people won't. You'd have to watch the movie 75 times to like probably notice these things. But
you know what? I was saying that I think that Police Academy should make a resurgence now, just like Cobra Kai.
oh,
They should make a show like how they did with that, like a spinoff, and have like, I know that there's some key members that are of the cast that are not here with us anymore,
Right.
but there's still a lot left that they could still put in there.
yeah, no, I mean Steve Guttenberg, Michael Winslow's still around. I have a picture of Kimberly Beck, who plays Trish Jarvis in Friday the 13th.
It's her birthday today, right?
Today is actually her birthday. Shout out to Kimberly. She's one of my closest friends. I absolutely love her. I have a picture of her and Steve Guttenberg together.
They were at a Monster Mania together, right?
No, they were just walking around the neighborhood.
Oh.
They live near each other, and they're friends.
Okay.
So she knows how much I love the Police Academy movies. So she took a picture with Steve and sent it to me. And I was like, oh, that's Robbie's parents, like from my movie.
Oh, there
together.
you go, man.
So I can't find the picture. I don't know where it is. Because I never posted it. But I thought you would get a kick out of it.
Oh, absolutely. What is Tim Gage doing in the middle of the thing there?
I was waiting for you to notice.
Hi, Tim.
We all need a little.
I've never seen one Police Academy movie.
You've never
Really?
seen one
Seen any
Police
of them?
Academy? At least watch the.
Steve Guttenberg, but I never.
At least watch the first movie.
Yeah.
What about Cocoon?
I saw it when it came out. That was it. I didn't.
Trying to think what else. Short Circuit, I think he was in.
He made a movie probably maybe 10 years ago, almost like a Lifetime movie. Joe Carletto was in it with him. And they got to play flag football with him in one of the scenes.
Really?
Joe Carletto's one of the owners here. I have no idea. I just figured everybody needs a little Tim Gage in their life. So
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
a little Tim Gage.
That's
right?
cool. A little Tim Gage. Yes, we need little Tim Gage.
Oh, I know where it is.
He could be part of the new Demon Skull record album cover, the special
There
edition.
they are.
The deluxe.
Oh, that's a great picture, man.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, you could put it in the.
Yeah, I'll hold it.
Thank
you
you,
go.
Tony. There
Just
are.
get a shot of me like looking through my phone.
Yeah.
It's like really,
Well, it was for a good reason.
you
was,
know how important.
Exactly. So, all
Yes.
right. So now we're talking Victim No More. Now
Yes,
you're moving on to a sequel.
yes. Loose Ends, Victim No More, Part 2. There they are. It will be a feature-length sequel because Victim No More is actually a short film, 40 minutes long. Just because that's the length it needed to be. But I wanted to do a feature-length sequel to the movie and actually make it an anthology film.
Okay.
I'm a huge horror anthology fan. I love, I grew up loving Creepshow and Tales from the Dark Side, the movie,
Hell
and
yeah.
Body Bags, and if you want to talk more recently, Trick or Treat is great.
Yeah, it is.
The Mortuary Collection. There's a bunch of them that are out there. But I love anthologies, and I figured, let me scratch two itches, and do a Friday the 13th anthology film.
That's pretty cool.
Which nobody's ever done. So I was like, all right, this could be fun. And if anybody has seen Victim No More, they know how the movie ends. I won't spoil it too much, but it ends with a bunch of characters showing up seemingly out of nowhere.
From different franchises and stuff.
Well, basically, it's a group of survivors
Okay.
that show up at the end. So, spoilers. So I wanted to, and a lot of people, a lot of the feedback from the first film was like, what's their backstory? A lot of people questioning, like, what's that about? And as Friday the 13th fans, you know that there's always a final girl at the end of all these movies. So I figured that just that alone kind of gave the fans the gist of what it was. It's like, oh, these must be people that has survived Jason or killers like him, and they found each other, formed a squad, a sort of like monster squad, and they go out there and they take down killers, you know? So I wanted to explore that more in the sequel. So we're going to get into like some of the backstories of like where these characters came from. So, and it's all led by Catherine Mary Stewart, who played Megan Jarvis in my film. Catherine Mary Stewart, if you don't know, she was in Weekend at Bernie's, The Last Starfighter, Night of the Comet, a bunch of 80s movies, a lot of movies in the 90s. She's been in a lot of Hallmark Christmas movies. So when she gets the opportunity to hold a gun, she was very excited because
Absolutely.
Because all she's holding in those Hallmark Lifetime movies is like a glass of wine, usually as like a disapproving mother,
In our hearts.
So, yeah. So it's like I'm like, here, Catherine, hold this shotgun. She's like, yeah, like that's what I'm talking about. And she also like helped direct a bunch of scenes in the first movie, so she's going to be directing a bunch of sequences. Basically, I'm saying she's co-directing the movie with
great.
me. I'm going to probably give her co-director credit for this because that's what she's really interested in now. She's been in, so many movies since like 1980 that she's acted for over 40 years and she still loves it, but she really loves directing. So I was like, well, we're friends and I'm directing this movie, so come help direct. And she was amazing on the first movie. She was like a mentor on set. And she did like production assistant things that she didn't need to do. Like go get us pizza one day. It's like, what are you doing? You shouldn't be doing that. We got people to do that. And she's like, I've never done it. So let me go do it. So, and there's stories there. But
she just made an appearance at Cinema Arts Center, right?
Yeah, she just did the Huntington Cinema Arts Center. We had a 40th anniversary screening of Night of the Comet. The turnout was great. There was like over 100 people there, and they were there getting her autograph, and she did an intro to the movie, and she just had a really busy year. So that was like her last hurrah for the 2024.
That's cool. I love that place, man, because they.
Oh, I love it too.
They
have a lot of great screenings.
Yeah, dude. They support indie film,
Yeah.
and that's like what we need.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was cool, and they played the trailer for Loose Ends in front of the movie.
That's great.
So it's like, there's Catherine up, and so it looked great up on the big screen. And it's a teaser trailer, so it's not actually, stuff that we shot. We haven't started filming yet. We start filming in a few months. We're like in pre-production now to start the movie.
Same area you're going to film in, or are you going to be?
It's going to be mostly Long Island, if not possibly all of Long Island. The first movie we did go to Blairstown, New Jersey, which they shot the original Friday the 13th. So we grabbed a couple of scenes. We grabbed some shots and sequences there for the first movie, and we shot in Manhattan. Which, by the way, the opening to Victim No More was all directed by Catherine Mary Stewart. Like, running around Manhattan, it was her, me, and my cinematographer, Sean Q. King. Started at Central Park, and we just ran around and got different shots of Manhattan. Guerrilla style.
There you go.
Yeah, you don't need permits in Manhattan. Everybody just thinks you're a tourist.
Exactly. Everyone's got a camera in their
Everybody's got a camera in their hand. You could make a full movie in
100%
without people knowing,
Yeah, of course.
So
I think you got more time in Manhattan than actually Jason Takes Manhattan.
yeah, and if you notice, for Jason Takes Manhattan fans, the opening credits are the exact same style.
Same song too. Yeah.
Same style of credits. No, we didn't use the song. That was an original song that we used. Yeah. No, I mean, Jason Takes Manhattan is one of my least favorite of the franchise, but there are some fans that it's their favorite film because that was like the first one they saw in theaters or whatever the case is. They like the look of Jason or they like the characters, whatever
the look
it is.
is awesome.
Yeah, he looks cool. It's
The ending is ridiculous.
Yes. But there's fans that like that ending or like the whole movie. So,
Like
it means
vomits.
something. It means something to them. So I had to throw them a bone, So it's like, well, let's give the Jason Takes Manhattan fans
Like I
a
love
little,
like the kicking of the boombox.
Yeah, that's funny. That's always funny. Knocking off the guy's head on top of the building is hilarious.
That's cool.
Especially when his head goes flipping off the building. You see it from his point of view. The camera flipping around.
And I like the Joan Jett girl. She was cool. I just actually met her. JJ. Yeah. She did voiceovers for a lot of.
Was Sailor Moon or something like that?
Yeah.
It was like a lot of anime.
Yeah,
stuff.
she's cool, man. Trying to think of her name.
I wish she lasted longer.
Casey Hendershot, I think, maybe.
Okay.
Something like that. She was in Chiller Theater just this past October.
Oh, shit.
And it was her first convention.
I met Kelly Hugh,
Okay.
which, most people would know from X-Men 2.
Right.
The Lady Deathstrike. And the Scorpion King. She's the main girl.
I met VC.
Her very first movie was Jason Takes Manhattan.
Okay. Yeah, she's she's friends with the girl that Tamara.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's that ridiculous scene where she's in the disco room and Jason just keeps teleporting all over the place. I don't know what's up with Jason teleporting all over the place in that movie, but
There's just so many like what the hell is going on moments of that movie.
From that point on, there's like a lot of what the hell is going on.
Right.
But people love, just like me. I love the entire franchise. Oh my god, seeing that teaser
And
when I was 12 years old.
Oh my god.
I was
right?
just like, I cannot wait for this.
Yeah.
And
The
like
first
most of us that were 12 that got to see it in the theater, we were all disappointed because the whole thing took place on a boat, and then the last 15 minutes or whatever, he's in Manhattan or Vancouver, Manhattan.
I remember my father took me to go see that movie, and he was just like, he even leaned into me, and he hated all these movies.
Right.
But he took me because I wanted to go, and he
Yeah.
was just like, when is he actually going to get to Manhattan? I don't know, Dad. Like, you're asking me. I don't know shit. I don't even know how old I was at that time. The first Friday the 13th movie I ever saw in the movie theater was Part 6.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God, I would have loved that. 7 was my first
7,
experience.
yeah.
But 6 was my favorite Friday the 13th movie.
I think
From
it
when
still is for me.
I seen it to my 20s, I would say. And then at some point, I decided the final chapter is my favorite.
Okay.
But it's like neck and neck
Yeah.
with Jason Lives. I love 4 and 6 are easily my top 2.
Yes.
If there's a top 3, it's 4, 6, 2.
Yep.
That is my top 3 there.
Definitely. I like 6 because of obviously the sentimental reasons of seeing it first. I love the story, the resurrection of him in the beginning.
The Frankenstein story
yeah,
of it.
it's
Yeah,
so good.
yeah,
and
it's
like,
great. The gothic feel of it. The characters are fun. Zombie Jason is just... reopening the camp was like the best idea.
Absolutely.
And this time, like, a working camp with kids there and stuff like this is why wasn't this done like with part 3 or 4 or 5? It's like it took the 6th movie to like, let's restart Camp Crystal Lake, call it Forest Green, but like, and get kids there, which could be, which now there's like a threat,
Yeah.
with more than just the counselors.
what?
And it's the last one to do it.
I just thought of something now. Maybe Sleepaway Camp 2 ripped off from that idea for Part 6. Because Part 6 came out before that. Because Sleepaway Camp 2, they changed the name of the camp. And they reopened it.
Yeah.
So maybe it got like, the idea from there.
What was the name of the camp in Sleepaway Camp 2?
Rolling Hills?
Rolling Hills.
Yeah.
And then New Horizons
New
was
Horizons
the
was the third one.
Okay.
Which I'm a fan. I love those films too.
What did they call it? I only seen it a couple times, and I actually enjoy it, even though most people hate it. The Return to Sleepaway Camp.
Oh, yeah.
But what did they call it? Call the camp in that one.
I don't even remember, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, for me too. I've only seen that.
I like the kills.
Twice.
In it.
Oh,
I
the
thought
kills
it
are
was cool.
cool.
I mean, it actually. What I really liked about Return to Sleepaway Camp. Let's talk about this for the next 2 hours. Is that it was the original director from the first movie, and he basically didn't change the original script that he had since the 80s of like his sequel to Sleepaway Camp. And it feels like that. It does. There's nothing like really modern that happens in it.
Right.
The dialogue and characters all feel like they came out of like an early 80s slasher movie. And I'm like, this has like an 80s like feel to it. It's very like, simplistic in the way it's shot, and the kills are very inventive, just like the first movie.
Hiltzik, right? Robert
Yeah.
Hiltzik?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, if anybody gets a chance, listen to the commentary to Sleepaway Camp. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's
Him and
funny.
Felissa Rose are just...
Felissa just did
So
a screening of Sleepaway Camp at Cinema Arts Center, and she did an ongoing commentary during the movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, it was so funny.
I thought I saw you in those pictures there.
Yeah. I was there. It was my birthday. I was like, you know what? I got to go for this because.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, man.
My birthday is in 2 days.
Is it? Happy birthday, man. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Tim Gage back in the
entering
house.
The studio.
Adam's going up in a couple minutes, so I got to listen to his shit.
Is he the guy?
He's the guy in that room that night.
Yeah.
I'm over here, right? You want me to sit on the thing? Can you hear me if I'm over here?
Well, yeah, there's microphones.
Yeah, sit over there, man. Come on.
Have you ever seen a Friday the 13th movie?
No.
So
None
no
of
Police
those?
Academy,
No Police
no
Academy.
Friday the 13th. What kind of movies do you watch?
Not
Terms and
gory,
Endearment?
not gory. Yeah. It's just twins.
Twins. You like Twins? Twins is good. Twins is good. Junior.
Do you find my body disgusting?
No, I just.
Well, what's your favorite top 3 movies?
Mean Streets.
Mean Streets.
All
Okay.
right.
Goodfellas, of course.
A lot of cop thrillers, mob movies.
Yeah. That's a good question, though. I don't know what the other ones are. Lassie Goes Home. No.
Benji, The Hunted.
Benji, right. Oh, jeez.
Bob Camp's Benji franchise.
No, Goodfellas. Oh.
Probably one of my favorites, which the critics weren't too great on, was Heaven Help Us.
Oh, Warren Beatty?
Oh yeah,
No.
with the kids in the Catholic
Yes,
school.
yes,
Oh.
because I went to an
Stephen
old boys.
Jeffries is in that.
Yes,
Yeah,
he is from
and-
Fright Night.
Yes.
And I didn't see Fright Night either.
Andrew McCarthy,
Yes, and Kevin Dillon
Kevin Dillon.
was great in that.
Mary
movie.
Stuart Masterson is the
Yeah.
girl from the candy shop. or
Yep,
whatever.
yep.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that.
haven't
movie.
seen it
That's
in years.
So fucking good. And
Yeah,
it
it
got
is good.
shit,
Heaven Help Us is-
shit reviews but I mean
We don't
she's
listen to
a-
reviews here. We
Yeah.
We're horror fans. We can't.
Well, even
hilarious.
Police Academy, we don't listen to reviews. I'll just keep going and see it. I go if it piques my interest.
Yeah, no, I liked
I do not
Napoleon
listen to
Dynamite. I
reviews.
liked
Napoleon Dynamite is still. I just watched it recently, and it's still as funny as it was 20 years ago. And I don't think I'd seen it in like 10 years. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's
this
just like
movie,
this-
every scene
Is-
is making me smile or laugh out loud. I'm like, oh my god!
I remember
Napoleon
when
Dynamite.
I went and saw that in the movies probably like 4 or 5 times.
I saw it
and
twice,
I went
yeah.
with different people, and half of the people that I would go to,
Didn't get it, huh?
no, they look at me like, "What the fuck is this? Did you bring me?"
Well, it's definitely a subjective movie. Just like Police Academy, it's like some people just look at it and they're like, "This is stupid.
Yeah.
Why do people find this funny?" It's like if it tickles your funny bone,
That's right.
it's it's the same thing with like every genre.
Yeah.
However it hits you, and you're not going to convince somebody else that hates it otherwise.
Yeah.
So
That's
No, I
funny,
just
man.
never could get into horror movies and stuff like that. I wasn't like Chiller Theater. I had cousins that loved it. I was like, did nothing for me.
The Exorcist never.
No, Never even saw that. I really don't think I just.
I was just watching something with that the other day with The Exorcist. They were showing like the original props that they made for her with like the head and then the when she was spitting the soup out.
Piece,
Right.
And they made like this like mouthpiece or whatever.
Yeah.
I forgot who
You mean that wasn't real soup coming out of her mouth? What kind of acting is that?
method actor. I acted in summer stock and they showed me how to spew pea soup. I'm a squirter.
Yes.
Like a puke on cue.
It's so funny.
I'm sure Diddy had a lot of
Whoa,
good spinners.
Oh, going back to the Diddy
No,
story?
no, I can't. No, I can't talk about Diddy again.
All right.
He already had enough of Primal scream time tonight, I feel. But Diddy? I don't know. If we're talking about him again.
Speaking of Diddy, anyway, my movie Loose Ends.
Yes. Let's get back to
We
loose
can
ends.
connect that to Diddy somehow
Sure, absolutely.
in the title.
Hopefully he'll get stabbed.
Oh my God.
Oh, I can't say that. That's not right. I could be charged with terrorism like Luigi.
Luigi.
So when you
Yes.
said you're going to be starting filming in the spring?
Yes. Yeah, springtime is the start time. From our experience on making the first movie, we shot it in the summertime because I thought it would be a good idea to shoot a Friday the 13th movie in the summertime because that's when most Friday the 13th movies take place.
Yeah, right. Summertime.
Little did I know how gross it would be.
Disgusting and hot.
100 degrees. And it's like, oh, this is why they shot all the Friday the 13th movies that take place in the summer, in the fall and winter. Because it's disgusting. But you could see, like when you watch the film, you could see like just sweat coming off of people. Jason, who's wearing like a big bodysuit thing, he's dripping, he's oozing. You know,
He has swamp ass.
You might
swamp.
find.
Oh, he's definitely got swamp ass. He talks about that in the behind the scenes stuff. He talks about his swamp ass.
You might be able to find some people that will watch that just for that. The
Yeah.
sweat.
Oh, it was disgusting. So I said, you know what? This is what we're going to do. And, you know, my cinematographer agreed and other people agreed. It's like, all right, this is what we're going to do. Since we're doing a feature-length movie, that's 4 short stories and a wraparound story. So they don't all have to be shot at the same time because they're 4 different stories with different characters. So it's like, well, let's do half the movie in the spring and half the movie in the fall. Taking a break in the summer so none of us die. You know. So that's the basic
and then
plan.
they can all link up.
And they're all going to link up. Yeah, we're going to probably shoot 2 or 3 stories in the springtime, then 2 or 3 stories in the fall time, and it'll be wrapped by hopefully November.
Cool.
So it's an all-year project.
And you got an Indiegogo campaign going on.
We have an
right now.
Indiegogo campaign where we're raising money. We is it 2 months ago? 2 months ago now, we passed the goal, the initial goal.
Congratulations.
So
That's
thank
awesome.
you. So we're in demand. So that means the campaign will stay open for to whenever I want to close it. So we can keep generating money and generating funds for the project. So
It's, you know what, I feel like the Indiegogo campaigns are good because I feel like it gives fans an opportunity to be a part of something where they could actually I looked at some of your perks and stuff, and I mean it's cool what you're offering.
yeah, I mean everybody gets their name in the credits. That's just a given. But yeah, T-shirts and beanies and the Blu-ray copies for the collectors. Oh, one thing too. Trying to show off the beanie. One thing too is because collectors like us for Blu-rays and DVDs, 4Ks, whatever, are becoming less and less because of streaming.
Yeah, man.
We are only offering the Blu-ray through the campaign.
Okay.
So like I won't be at a convention like a year from now
With a stack of them.
with a stack of them selling them at the table or anything like that. Or, hey, if you buy a T-shirt, you get this for free. I won't be doing that. You can only get the Blu-ray from the campaign itself. So that really helps because
have it if you're a collector.
Yeah. If you're a collector and you got the first one, or you're one of these collectors of Friday the 13th fan films, which there's a bunch of them. They want like every, story, that Jason is in or something.
Like the reason I reached out to you too is because I've seen so many different fan films for this, fan films for Nightmare on Elm Street, for Halloween, and I feel like yours stands out because it feels like like a real fan, genuinely, with the heart of the the film from Friday the 13th and stuff, and like you feel like you're actually watching a Friday the 13th film.
Really, really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I'm very passionate about the franchise. I grew up watching them and sharing them with friends, and actually gaining friends through the franchise itself.
Sure.
Like I've people like you, we will just start up a conversation and we'll start talking about our favorite Friday the 13th movies, or things that we didn't like or liked them, or the first one you saw in the theater, or whatever it is. It starts up a friendship. Like one of my best friends is his name is Chris Seaver. Sean knows him, actually. Sean Jordan.
Okay, yeah.
Like he's in a bunch of his movies and stuff. Chris makes them too. We became friends because of like a 3-hour conversation, talking about growing up watching these movies, and other horror movies too. But
that's like one of my favorite parts of Chiller Theater is
it's like when you bond over music or other things. It's like it's great.
Yeah. Going to the diner with Sean Jordan and talking.
Oh my God,
horror stuff. Like I could
his
talk
obsession
with
with diners.
Yeah,
he needs to hit every diner in the.
That was a good movie too. Diners.
Diner?
Diner's a great movie. Going back to Steve Gutenberg, yeah.
The hero of the Hollywood Hills right now, moving cars from the Inferno.
I love that
great.
scene where, and it's such a. I mean that movie Diner.
And the wedding's off.
It's
and the wedding's off.
Yes, love that scene. But it's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, because of how the guys are in that movie Diner. And Daniel Stern says it in that scene when they're driving. He's like, these things matter. Like music, favorite movies, like these like little pop culture geeky things that I feel like, I mean, it's women too.
Yeah.
But like men really bond
Barry
over this.
Levinson, with you can eat that roast beef sandwich. Everybody wanted that cut, and he's like, "Are you crazy? That's the greatest scene in the world."
It's just a regular conversation.
It's just a regular conversation. You want a piece of my roast beef sandwich? Yeah, ask me for it. Just fucking hilarious.
Diner's
And
a
like
great
the
movie.
producers and stuff like that, and the editors were like, "No, it doesn't make any sense." And he's like, "No, it's like the love between them."
It's the bond that us silly men have.
Yes.
Whether it's things like that, where they're talking about the music in the movie, and
or you're talking about
the Friday 13th,
right?
It's
Friday
like
13th.
This is what we bond
horror
over,
movies.
Are you guys into coleslaw, like from the diner?
Not really.
Yeah,
I'll take a few forkfuls and I'll be like, all right, I had enough of that. Give me my burger and fries.
Yeah, I love the coleslaw. I remember, like, I used to go.
The slaw.
My
Give me
friends
some
are
slaw.
like, dude, make sure you ask for fucking slaw because I want it. And then have, like, a vat of slaw in front of me, like, before all my shit comes.
Hilarious.
And my kid now, like, when I take it to the diner, she loves pickles. She wants, like, a plate of pickles.
Yeah, I don't know what's what kids like. Kids get into that.
Yeah, I'm not
Pickles,
I'm
right?
not into pickles.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
pickles, no tomatoes.
No.
I'm kind of picky, I guess.
Yeah, man.
But I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? So yeah, this movie that we're making,
Is it on the island you're making it, or
yeah, it's probably gonna mostly be on Long Island. I mean, if there's a place that we find that's absolutely
perfect?
perfect and we need to go upstate to shoot somewhere, then we will. We're still raising a budget, so we gotta like be careful of what we spend.
Jason comes to Governors and kills.
That'd be good.
He does a spot.
I like what you did there.
Right?
I like what you did there. But it's a movie that it can be watched on its own, because I did want to make a sequel, so it does kind of pick up where the first one leaves off. But you don't necessarily have to see the first movie to watch the sequel. And I kind of want, of course, in a way, it's going to lead into a third and final film, a third Victim No More film. And that'll be kind of its own story too. It might carry over a couple of characters, but it's like they could all three movies can be watched on their own, or as like a trilogy.
Are you going 3D?
No, I'm not going 3D. No.
I remember seeing House
I
of
can't
Wax.
even imagine like what something like that would cost to make
House
a
of
3D.
Wax at 3D.
Yeah, I
dude.
saw that when I was a kid. It was
Love
at the
House of
Elwood
Wax.
Cinema. So I didn't realize. Charles Bronson, I think, was in that.
Yeah,
wasn't he?
is.
Just like a
he's like
side
the
mission.
assistant. So
He was one of the figures?
That's a horror movie.
Okay, yeah, I know.
And it's kind of
Vincent
the first,
Price,
it's like the first horror movie that's in color.
yeah.
So, and the 3D is pretty cool too.
I gotta
first
go. I gotta go.
You're out?
Oh yeah, I gotta go check Adam out.
All right, it was nice
Thanks,
meeting
Tim.
you.
Nice meeting you, man. Good luck on
Take
your
care.
movie, bro.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
I'll finish your roast beef for you.
These things matter.
They do matter. That was awesome.
But
Tim Gage coming in. It was cool. Thanks,
take
brother.
care. So I do want to make this a trilogy. I mean, of course, it all matters on how successful, quote unquote, the second film is, Loose Ends. But I feel like no matter what, even if I can't get any money raised for the third movie, I'll go. I mean,
passion project.
I'm already going broke from the first and second movie anyway.
I get it.
I got to use a lot of my own money to do it, unless somebody rich comes in and goes, here's 10 grand or 20 grand for it.
I'll be your Victim No More sugar daddy.
There you go. Sounds good. But I do want to do this trilogy, and that'll be everything I need to say about Friday the 13th. And the thing that I like to do that a lot of the fan films don't do is kind of stay in with the original timeline of those original Friday the 13th movies. Like a lot of the fan films kind of just go, all right, this is just years later. They don't like reference anything, or they just create a story that just sits alone in itself, or they ignore sequels. Like a lot of fan films, some of which I like. They'll say like, all right, this movie picks up right after part 4, or this movie picks up right after part 7, and they ignore the rest. And they'll say, oh, it's 30 years after part 6 or part 7 or something like that. I'm just not a big fan of that, because say I don't even like the sequels that come after like part 7. I do, but let's say I don't. I just don't like that they're ignored. Like these things still happened,
Sure.
in that original timeline of the franchise. I mean, honestly, when New Line took over, it just became what I like to call the Adventures of Jason. He's body hopping now, and he's going to space, and he's fighting Freddy, and like it just
Totally
they
different
become
aesthetic,
like one-offs.
They forgot the camp.
Yeah. So I kind of don't want to dismiss at least anything that happens in those first 8 movies.
Yeah. I loved how they did the remake, though. The remake, when they made that, felt like a real Friday the 13th from like back in the day, because they like mashed the first 3 or the first 4.
Yeah, because the guy's looking for his sister.
Oh,
which is
right.
just like the
Yes,
final chapter.
yes.
So, and 3 and 4 have like the vacationers.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like both of them. I think the 2009 reboot is like a perfect example of how do you do a reboot. Like you need to make it for a new generation, because
Sure.
the kids aren't going to watch all those old-ass Friday the 13th movies.
No.
So this is introducing Jason, something they're very familiar with, Killer with the Hockey Mask, because it's in Spirit Halloween and Party City. Well, Party City, rest in peace.
That's right.
They grew up knowing a hockey mask killer. So it's like, how do you introduce this to a new generation of people that are going to watch it and not piss off the old fans too, which of course there's people that are our age, 40s, 50s, or whatever, that won't even give it a shot or thinks it sucks or whatever. But I think they did a really good job with rebooting it for a new generation. They took all the familiar things with at least the first classic 4 films, mashed them together, and spit it out. You got them wearing the sack. The camp is closed down. You got the legend of, like, Pamela Voorhees and the legend of Jason. You got all these things in it, and then you got all the crazy kills that happen throughout.
Derek Mears, too, is a fucking great Jason.
Yeah,
man.
he was great. And he was like the running human Jason.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Going back to, like, Ted White Jason.
Yeah, or Richard Brooker.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I thought they did a really good job. I don't love it, because there's things in it that I'm just like, eh. But I think that's a great example of what a reboot should do.
Sure.
And I always compare it to, like, Godzilla movies.
Okay.
Like, there's always, like, the eras of Godzilla.
Yep.
There's people's favorite Godzilla. There's people's, there's always, like, I mean, how many remakes in the 30 Godzilla movies, like, are there? There's a few.
Sure.
That they go, all right, there's the Showa era. All right, now we're in the 80s. Like the Return of Godzilla. Here he comes. He's coming back out of the water. He's doing, and he looks different. He's doing new things. But you don't have to, like, watch all those previous movies.
No.
Godzilla.
Right.
And it always, some of them are sequels to others, and some of them just is a sequel just to the original Godzilla. Like, Jason to me is Godzilla.
Some seismic event is going to rupture some shit and fucking unleash this unholy blizzard of death.
To me, there should have been 30 Friday the 13th movies.
100%.
Because out of all the killers, like our modern day slasher friends, Jason is the one you could do anything with because he's had the most sequels. Well, now Halloween has the most sequels, but like, he's the most you could do things with, and, like, you could have, you could just have it go on forever.
Sure.
And do different things with it if you want. And then just like Godzilla, they take it back to, they'll do a few movies that maybe got a little ridiculous, and then they'll bring it back to Camp Crystal Lake and do it again. Same thing. Like, just like Godzilla, where they're like, they'll bring him to space and he's fighting aliens and other things on other planets, and like in those 70s Godzilla movies. But then they bring it back to Tokyo,
right?
Just like we bring Jason.
Bring it back to basics.
You bring it back to basics, exactly.
100%. All right, so I want to do a little musical break right now. I'm going to come back on with Bob after this. There's a song coming up on my full-length album that is coming out on January 24th, and it is called The Legend of Paula Schultz. And this song was mixed and mastered by my boy Greg Gavitt at Center Stage Music. And check it out. I hope you dig it. It's called The Legend of Paula Schultz. The Lonely Grave of Paula Schultz.
Unfinished business.
Excellent.
Baby, you ain't kidding.
Kiddo, the black mama strikes with a sword in her hand and a score to settle tonight. Kiddo, the black mama strikes with a sword in her hand and a score to settle tonight. Kiddo, the black mama strikes with a sword in her hand and a score to settle tonight. Kiddo, the black mama strikes with a sword in her hand and a score to settle tonight. Listen up, y'all, I got a story to tell about a woman, a warrior, a legend to compel. The bride features Kiddo, a name you should know. She was left for dead, but she didn't go. She woke up from a coma with a burning desire for revenge against a former lover and fire. She fought her way through the DVA, the official deathless queen. She slayed. Kiddo, the black mama strikes with a sword in her hand and a score to settle tonight. Kiddo, the black mama strikes with a sword in her hand and a score to settle tonight. Kiddo, kiddo, the black mama strikes with a sword in her hand and a score to settle tonight. Kiddo, kiddo, the black mama strikes with a sword in her hand and a score to settle tonight. Oran, go, go, 88, all demise. No remorse, no surprise. Ellie Driver was eye for an eye. Ride with Hanzo, unmatched and supreme. The bride, a force of true killing machine. Revert and serve cold, illest story ever told. Kiddo, kiddo, the black mama strikes with a sword in her hand and a score to settle tonight. Kiddo, kiddo, the black mama strikes with a sword in her hand and a score to settle tonight. Kiddo, kiddo, the black mama strikes with a sword in her hand and a score to settle tonight. Kiddo, kiddo, the black mama strikes with a sword in her hand and a score to settle tonight. Now her name is whispered in fear and in awe. The bride, a legend, forever in the raw. She killed Bill with the 5-finger death extreme as the sun set. She washed her hands clean, learned a girl survived the attack. Left her dead at the chapel was whack. For the DVA, sent her to her lonely grave. As Paula showed us, she made her way. A crotch rocking to her pussy way. Cross paths, toe tagging. Sliced and diced with persistence and precision. Fuck the fuck, smash his brains on like Activision. Kiddo, kiddo, the black mama strikes with a sword in her hand and a score to settle tonight. Kiddo, kiddo, the black mama strikes with a sword in her hand and a score to settle tonight. Kiddo, kiddo, the black mama strikes with a sword in her hand and a score to settle tonight. Kiddo, kiddo, the black mama strikes with a sword in her hand and a score to settle tonight.
All right, there it is. The new NZA single, The Lonely Grave of Paula Schultz. It's going to be available on the 24th of January, and it's going to be on all streaming, and I might even make some CDs. I don't know. But, yeah, that's my my new single. I'm very proud of it, and I wanted to share that with you. And,
Rock on.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. We were just discussing some Maiden stuff.
Yeah.
Bob just caught Maiden at the Prudential Center, and I was saying that he was lucky that he got to see Nico in action. Nico McBrain just called it quits after 40 years at the helm on drums, and unbelievable band.
I just love that I got to see, because Somewhere in Time is probably my favorite album.
Oh
by
yeah,
them.
Wasted Years.
So I got to see basically them perform that entire album plus like 5 songs off their last album.
Yeah.
Which I really like.
Yeah, that's a good album.
That last, I can't remember the name of the song, but it's the last song on that album, and they actually played it, and it was awesome. But I feel like I got to look it up. But
Maiden is
it was great. I got to see like the Eddie stuff on the stage and explosions going off, and they're like shooting at him. I'm like, what is this? Is crazy. I love it.
Maiden's the type of band that can come out and they can play 5 songs off their new album, and it will still rock. And like, it doesn't matter. Like, they always bring it. It doesn't,
Right.
you know, like it's pretty awesome. I remember one time I got to see them, and they played their album. It was A Matter of Life and Death in its entirety. And then they ended the show with like 4 or 5 hits, because that was like a long album. It's like over an hour or whatever. And I remember like some people were pissed, like, "Oh, I didn't want to hear that." I'm like, "But when is the time you're going to see them do this?"
I love what they do. I love that they do like the album tours,
Period pieces.
yeah, the period pieces, and you know they'll do the tours for their new album. They'll play all those and then throw in like Run to the Hills and stuff like that. Like, like I like that they do that. Like, I wish other bands did that. Like, well, you see I'm wearing a hat, Duran Duran hat.
Yeah.
Duran Duran's my favorite band of all time. And they went through many different eras in the last 45 years.
They're playing out recently, right?
I just saw them last year also. And they did it on they did the like Halloween show, Madison Square Garden Halloween. They did like kind of like spooky versions of different songs. And,
That's
like,
cool.
They all dressed up, and like they had like witches and skeleton. It looked like an Alice Cooper show mashed with Duran Duran.
Wow.
Where like they just had like crazy stuff going on.
How many original members are still in that band?
4.
Really?
Yeah. They originally had 5. They broke up in 1984, and they went to like different side projects. Like 2 of them went to like Robert Palmer, that Bang a Gong song. Power Station. Thank you. And then the other guys went to Arcadia, and they have a couple of cool songs. But then they got back together with 3 of the members, and then they went through like this like funky pop, kind of era, like Notorious, like they had a lot of funk going on, with some like ballads and stuff going on, and then they had a couple of albums that just died. And then they came out with the comeback album in the 90s with Ordinary World and Come Undone.
That was huge.
Like there was massive, huge. They were back. And they had a new guitarist. So then they were like a 4-piece again. And that went on for years and years. And then, skip ahead like 6 or 7 albums. Then it's weird. They always like get a couple great albums, and then they start dipping down a little bit. I like all their albums. Like there's a couple like weaker ones, and they they'll do new wave pop, like funk, hard rock in there, some nice ballads. They mix it up. And then they got the 5 original members back together again in like 2004. And that was a huge hit. So it was like another comeback album, selling out Madison Square Garden and, and all over the world. But then the original guitarist, like left because he didn't like what they were doing. And they just go through weird phases, and I'm just there for every single one. I'm just like, I'm always excited.
Dude.
Like every 4 or 5 years they put out a new album. I'm just like, oh, this is different, but it's cool. I like this. You got to give it a listen to a few times. And then their last album was just like a straight up, like weird Halloween, like love for like spooky kind of Halloween music, and they'll take a bunch of them are like, they did a couple like, half the album I think is covers. So they do like Psycho Killer and like a Billie Eilish song, Bury a Friend, Super Freak. I don't know why they did that, but that's on the album.
They're just doing stuff because they want to right now.
That's the thing, man.
Cool,
they're
man.
having fun, just like Iron Maiden. It's like these dudes are just like, they're in their 60s, or well, Maiden's in their 70s, I think now. But Duran Duran is in their 60s. They're having fun. They're still acting like 20-something-year-olds on stage.
Yeah,
they're
man.
they around.
They don't know anything else.
Yeah, they're playing Wild Boys, and it's like you're not boys anymore. You're old men, but but they're having a good time. And my friend, who's one of his favorite bands is Iron Maiden. We went to go see Duran Duran together, and he's like, look how fucking happy they are, man. They are having a blast.
I'm sure they are.
It's like where most bands are like their career is over by their 60s or 70s.
Yep.
It's like they're still going. I love to see that because. Also, being 49 years old, well, I'm going to be 49 in two days.
Happy almost birthday, man.
Thank you. It's nice to have bands that have been with us for so long that you could listen to any album and it'll bring you back to that time where you were.
Sure.
It's like, oh my God, I remember hearing this for the first time when I was 16. Or I remember hearing this when I was like 10 years old on the radio, Hungry Like the Wolf or something, Like it just takes you back, Even like the time periods of like not so great albums, it still brings you back.
Yep.
You know, because there might be something else that was really good in that time. You know,
I'm a fan of Motley Crue, so I mean, they're my favorite band of all time. I grew up listening to them, so it always brings me back. I have stories of every song.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, I enjoy seeing them doing what they're doing. Now, you know, I don't like, the only thing I really don't like in the third act of their career is, you know, they're airing their dirty laundry, but it's really bad with Mick, you know, and they got John Five in there, who's a phenomenal player, and they're continuing to play and stuff, but it's cool to go see them, you know, still tear it up, and do their thing, you know.
Because that music, those songs bring you back. And they make you feel good. They make you feel something. So
Dr. Feelgood.
they make you feel good. Did I do that intentionally? I'm not sure if I did.
I forgot to talk about that too. The other night, I went to go see Zach Sabbath.
Actually, my friend that I just talked
Paramount.
about, Kenny and my friends Kenny and Rob, they went to go see that same show.
Oh man, what a show!
I had never heard of Zach Sabbath. They had to. My friend Rob was over at my house a couple of days ago. He had to explain to me what it was.
Yeah, so
I was like, oh, okay.
It's Zach Wilde goes out and he does like the set that Sabbath should be playing if they were touring.
Right.
They open up with Supernaut. There's I did a meet and greet with them, and
Oh, cool.
yeah, Zach is phenomenal player. You know, he's got the guys from Black Label playing with them.
You sure that's
on,
not Bill Moseley? And
yeah, it looks like it, right? And Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
Right, and Richard Brake. And so I brought a picture of me, Zach, and Lemmy from 2007 from the Fields of Rock Festival, and I brought it over to him because he was doing like a signing or whatever after the picture, and I showed it to him, and I'm like, yo, man, I'm like, this is like this one of these days, man, like, it was awesome to meet both of you guys, and I remember how cool you were, and I just wanted to bring this back and show you this cool memory. And yeah, man, it was
cool.
Yeah, man, it was side stage. My friend played in a band with Evan Seinfeld from Biohazard, and he emceed the main stage. So I got to see over a course of 2 days. It was like Maiden, Heaven and Hell, Ozzy Solo, Black Label Society, Velvet Revolver, Korn, Megadeth. I'm trying to think. Some Life of Agony. It was all these bands, and like just being able to hang out on the side stage and watch all this stuff. It was so crazy. I never seen so many Marshall stacks in my life. It was so loud. Like when he came on, when Motorhead came on, it was so loud. Like the energy, you could cut it with like a
See
knife.
you later, good fella.
Tim Gage forgot his stuff. He came back in.
What's some of your favorite bands over there?
Oh,
Tony
jeez,
Tone.
I got a ton of them.
Give me your top three, if you can.
Just it's the regular classic rock, all the predictable ones. The Beatles, the Who, probably Billy Joel. After that, I'm a big music lover. But I still collect CDs. You mentioned before that they're starting to go down. I'm
so
making
happy
me
you
sad.
got a physical copy of that. Like,
Yep.
I'm friends with a bunch of bands. I'm like, that just do it like MP3s or you download or whatever. I'm like, can I get a physical copy?
Yep.
Like, if it's a friend's band or my favorite bands, it's like I need those CDs. I like the booklets. I like looking at. I like
That's
reading,
exactly
reading
it. I
the
like
lyrics
reading
while.
And who played on what? Who
played-
wrote
yeah,
it?
yeah.
I love that stuff.
It's like, oh, so and so played sax on
Yep.
track 3. You know, like
exactly it.
So
know,
do you
like-
hear what he says, Meds? He likes reading the inside booklet, and
That's all you have.
that's
Is
all
that-
we have on
Yeah,
our
so that's
new
gonna
album.
make me mad.
Like, dude,
No, it's all right. But I like looking at
like
artwork.
phoned it in. This fuck.
You know, it's artwork too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Yes.
I like looking at all that stuff. I still have all my CDs.
Are you a vinyl guy too?
Not so much. I do have like a, one of those like all-in-one radio things, but it's mainly CDs that I'm popping in.
I have
Cool.
10,000 CDs.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm a big I mean, you brought in that what was it, a Motley
10,001.
10,001, yeah.
Yeah.
You brought in that big, what was it, a Motley Crue box set a couple months
Yeah.
ago? Like I'm always buying box sets and see all the
Cool.
time.
I gotta give a shout out to a place in L.A. I love to go to.
Amoeba?
Amoeba.
Right.
The greatest record
Dude,
store on earth.
Amazing.
Dude, I go there. I'm no less than 2 hours in there. I'm just going through stuff.
Right.
I'm just going through stuff, and then I make my way over to the Blu-rays and movies and stuff.
I had to check a bag because I wasn't going to check the vinyl that I bought, so I had to bring that as my carry-on.
Yeah,
And I went in there with like, all right, dude, you got to just have like a spending limit or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I just was like holding shit. I couldn't like, at the end of the day, I was like,
Amoeba in Hollywood. Oh my God,
such a great place, man.
it's one of my cozy spots. I got to go there every time I go to L.A.
I used to go to this place. It was right around here. It was called Titus Oaks in Hicksville.
Mm-hmm.
I used to buy all my stuff in there and got introduced to a lot of bands.
It's a Dunkin' Donuts now.
Yeah. Go figure.
Tim Hortons is better, by the way.
And I used to go to Roosevelt Raceway, and there was a place called Record Van inside there. He used to sell a lot of stuff. Glenn Miller used to sell me a lot of my early metal albums back in the day.
Yeah.
And I could spend hours just thumbing through that stuff, like looking and finding new stuff. I used to buy things just
cool
because
when
I
you-
liked the album cover.
It's cool when you find like a weird import
Yeah.
that like has like extra tracks on it that you're not going to hear anywhere else. I mean,
Absolutely.
YouTube you could hear them, I guess, but not a physical copy.
You ever
There's-
go here to the flea market?
The the
Tri-County?
BZB?
Tri-County,
Oh,
yeah, right
Union?
here. Yeah, there used to be late 80s, early 90s. There was a guy in one of the corners.
Revolution Rock.
No, yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
dude.
Yeah, and he would have bootlegs.
Yeah.
And he had a turntable. You can go and sit and listen to them real quick before you
Yeah.
buy them, so you can check the quality out.
I mean,
So-
That's where I
That
bought
guy
my
was
leather
awesome.
records from, my Motley Crue leather records. I remember going in there, and back in the day, he had it on sale for, I believe it was $200. So every day, like every time I would go in there, I'd just be like, "Can I look at it?" And he'd be like, "Oh,
Can I look at it?
like I'd look at it or whatever."
Can you turn it slowly?
And I remember, man, like I saved money and I saved money. Finally, I got to 200 and I went in there and I was like, "Can I look at it?" And he's like, yeah. So I'm looking at it and stuff, and I'm like, "You're not putting it back today, man. I'm buying it."
You still
And
have
I
it.
bought it. I still have it.
Good.
It's Motley Crue's first album that they put out on their independent label.
Oh, okay.
And they only made about, I think, maybe 1,000 of them,
Okay.
or 1,500 of them. And they also put out a 7-inch that they made 150 of those, and they used to throw them out at their shows or whatever. I found one of them online years ago, and I have a copy of that. But those are my two holy grails.
Yeah. I don't know what my holy grails are. I mean, I got a bunch. I mean, one of them's probably a Duran Duran weird import thing. But Tower Records used to have a lot of great imports if you
Sure.
could find certain ones.
CDs.
Yeah, CDs. Record Stop. When it was in Ronkonkoma, they used to have some weird things thrown in there. None of the Above. Do you remember None of the Above?
Where was that?
It was a Middle Country Road. It was a little shop. It's now like probably a vape shop or a barber shop now or something. But it's where I discovered so much underground like punk stuff that I went up low. Like all my favorite punk bands, like I discovered at this store. It's near Smith Haven Mall.
Okay.
For those of you that don't know where Smith Haven Mall is, because we're all talking Long Island shit here. What is it, Mr. Cheapos?
Mr. Cheapos. Absolutely.
one of them's still around.
Oh, there
right?
was one that Slip Disc. Do you remember
Slip Disc,
Disc?
Valley
Valley
Stream.
Valley Stream?
Yep.
Oh
I
my
met-
God.
I
We
met
would
Twisted
journey
Sister
there.
there.
Yeah.
I met with the full Twisted Sister there, the whole band.
Oh, nice. The bootleg videos were great.
Yes.
Used to get these
Yes.
bootleg weird videos that were like concert
And then
bootlegs.
Purple Haze Music in
Purple
Hicksville.
Labels. Yep.
I worked there for a while.
Did you?
There was a band, Our Lady Peace. You remember them?
Yeah.
They came in to do an appearance at the store, and I drew a picture of them, to advertise them coming in. they looked at it, they're like, oh, my God, who drew that? And I was like, I did. They gave me backstage passes to see them that night at Jones Beach. They were opening for Van Halen. And I'm a Van Halen freak. I met Sammy, Michael, and Alex that night. And then during the show, Sammy's doing an acoustic number. So, that's the pee break. And I'm on the side of the stage because they gave me backstage pass. So I'm on the side. And I start to walk to the bathroom. And there's Eddie. Just
hanging?
Just standing there.
Oh,
and it was just me and him. And I'm 25 years old and I'm an idiot. So can I have an autograph? And
my God.
And he looks at me and goes, you got to get the fuck out of here. Just like that. And I'm like a cartoon. I yell out to nobody. Eddie Van Halen just cursed to me. I'm an idiot.
To nobody.
To nobody. I said it to nobody. Yeah, that's...
Eddie just said it right now. And then Sammy Hagar sang right now.
The acoustic number was Eagles Fly, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah. I remember that, man.
Yeah.
I love that tune.
Oh, it's a great... Because sometimes you would switch it off with Give to Live.
Give to Live.
Yeah.
So Eagles Fly, Alex talks about it in his book now because he loves the song now, but back when Sammy tried to bring it to them, they didn't want it. Right. He was like, I don't want to play this.
Yeah.
This sucks. And then years later, he's like, how come this is not a Van Halen song? He's like, because I brought it to you guys and you didn't want it. And Eddie wanted it, but you and I don't know if it was Michael, but Alex was like, no, we can't play this shit.
Wow.
That's a great tune, man.
It's a great tune.
When they used to add it to their set, it was awesome. Man, I miss Van Halen.
So do I.
Shit, dude.
With Sammy.
With Sammy.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, with Sammy.
Fuck yeah, with Sammy.
Get the fuck out of here.
Anyway, that was the music portion of our
of Primal Scream.
Primal Scream.
That's what happens, we go from
great.
Well, music and horror always go good
always
together,
go hand
right?
in hand. Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
some of those great Friday movies, Man Behind the Mask,
Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper, dude.
That whole soundtrack
is so good. Teenage
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
That that was my first Alice Cooper album was Constrictor.
Yeah.
And I became an Alice Cooper fan from that album.
Me too.
And then I went backwards and forwards from that point on.
I bought that.
Actually, just now, at Amoeba, actually. No, wait. Yeah, it was Amoeba. I picked up a couple of the Alice Cooper albums I didn't have that were made in the early 2000s or something.
Yeah.
Like The Last Temptation of Alice and something else. Dragon.
Brutal Planet.
Yeah, no, I already had that. Dragon Town, I think it's called. I still haven't listened to it yet.
Okay.
His last album was really good. Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit.
Right.
Detroit.
I want to say Detroit Rock City, but I know it's not that.
Detroit Songs? Or Detroit.
Oh, wait, no, that wasn't even his last album. I think there was something called The Road or something, or Road. I don't know what it is, but his last couple albums were
The Last Temptation of Alice Cooper?
No, that was in
the 90s.
The late 90s or something like that. But I loved Constrictor and Raise Your Fist and Yell, all the 80s trash, like those albums. I was like, oh my God, I love these albums.
Trash is such a
I wasn't
great
big
song.
on the 70s Alice Cooper much.
Yeah?
I love School's Out, of course, and 17 and... No, 17, 18. 17's a different
Winger.
band. Yeah.
They suck.
A couple of those songs. $1 Billion Babies. The
Be
hits,
My Lover.
basically. Yeah, some of them I just couldn't. I couldn't get into a lot of the 70s progressive rock type stuff.
You know what's crazy? A lot of these bands now bring Alice Cooper out to open for them.
I still need to see Alice Cooper
And
live.
he fucking smokes everyone off the stage.
Yeah, he's great
still.
live.
Because he
is
puts on a
great live.
show. He
Yes.
puts on a performance.
It's a
Yeah.
performance. It really
Yeah.
is. And he's got the
Kind of like I said
top-notch-
with the Duran and everything. They're there's people on stilts and acting like characters on stage, and there's blood being thrown, and people coming out of boxes, and I'm like, this is awesome. This is what you come to a show for.
It's entertainment.
It's entertainment.
And when you read the liner notes, that's how you find out that Sammy Hagar played guitar on School's Out.
Yeah, not
True
on
story.
I didn't know
Demon
that.
Scar.
Yep, there you go.
That's wild.
Yeah, Demon Scar's in trouble.
Yeah,
I want
Demon
liner
Scar
notes.
is the no frill fucking liner. I love liner notes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you find out weird shit somebody played guitar on 2 or 3 tracks of an album that you like, and it's like somebody famous themselves. You know, it's like, what? They did that?
So when I was a kid, in the inside liner note for Shout at the Devil from Motley Crue, it says this album was recorded on Budweiser, Jack Daniels, and Krell. And Krell was their thing for Coke. So you could just picture a fucking 9-year-old kid, 8-year-old kid running around my house going, Krell, Krell. They're like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Shut up.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, dude, like liner notes, like I used to just like reading them and studying the lyrics and like, fuck, man. That's that's why I like making these things, because these kids today don't have that with the digital era.
No, there's some. I mean, you ever listen to fantasy metal?
Like,
well, I guess Dragon Force is like a popular. But there's this band called like Rhapsody. They're like an Italian German fantasy metal, power metal band.
Okay.
But it's like you need the CDs when it comes to like that band, because they're telling you like a fantasy story.
Okay.
It's basically like Lord of the Rings, but you have to buy every album. It's like chapter 1. There's like characters and stuff like that. And then, it's
cool.
like real power, like symphonic power metal, with like choirs and shit like that. Christopher Lee is on a couple of the albums, like doing narration with his deep, awesome voice. And like, and it's like real hard.
When did they come out?
Oh, that band's been around since the 90s.
Wow. I gotta look
they
into
might
them.
not be together anymore. It's crazy. They sing about, fucking dragons and, wizardry and cool shit and going on journeys and
sick.
Evil demons and stuff like that,
Demon
that have to be
be
taken down. Yeah. It's really cool. So they had the name Rhapsody, but then there was like that server Rhapsody. So they had to change the name of the band, so they called it Rhapsody of Fire.
All right.
But the guitarist is one of the best guitarists in the world. His name's Luca Turilli. It's an Italian dude, and it's like you watch him, you're like, oh my God, how's he? He's just going like this, and it's making music. It's like, what? What are you doing with your fingers there? It's crazy.
He's a virtuoso.
Yeah, but like any of those type of bands, which they call them like fantasy metal bands or symphonic power fantasy metal or something like that.
Maiden can be almost classified as that.
Yeah, no, because
Right?
sometimes they're like telling a story.
Fuck yeah, the Rime of the Ancient Mariner or Alexander the Great.
Like that song, like those 10-minute songs on the Maiden albums. That's like what Rhapsody is like every song.
So their albums
with
have
like
to be like
with
almost
weird
2 hours
instrumental
long.
breaks and like shit like that. And anyway, it's just fun to actually have the physical copies so you could read the lyrics, follow the stories of characters and what they're doing, and you get into it more, because then it's like you got a movie in your head while you're listening to music, and they got crazy orchestrations that like it'll be like double bass, fast metal, and then all of a sudden it breaks down to like weird Renaissance type music. It's like part of the storytelling or something. It's so bizarre.
That's like how Avenged Sevenfold first started out. Like that's what I like. They
All of a
got
sudden they got flutes going on.
like Jethro.
Like it's like, what's going on with this music? Yeah.
Yeah, no, like Avenged Sevenfold, like, when you were talking about like the speeding up and coming back down with the brakes and stuff, they used to do that. Like that's what I used to love about them, and then kind of fell off with their last couple of albums. But yeah, Rhapsody, man, I got to definitely check that out. So
yeah, I'll text you like one of the songs.
I definitely want to find out about that stuff. So Victim No More,
Yes.
2, Loose Ends. You got to check out the Indiegogo campaign. It's
if anybody's still listening.
Yeah.
We just talked about music for like an hour.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're still raising money. We got a lot of great, cameos that I plan on having. We just got Lauren Marie Taylor, who played Vicky in Friday the 13th Part
Awesome.
2. She's on board. When I told her what the character was, she absolutely flipped for it. And she's like, done. I'm in it. I'm like, great.
She's a sweetheart.
She's such a sweetheart. She's great. So She's in it. We're working on a couple of other people. One of them actually is a Nightmare on Elm Street actress.
Okay, cool.
I won't say who, but she's in one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, at least the first 5.
All right.
Catherine Mary Stewart, like I said, is back as Megan Jarvis.
And Megan Jarvis is obviously
Megan from Part
6.
Yes.
Which is my favorite.
Was your favorite Final Girl? Or your favorite movie?
Favorite movie. My favorite Final Girl.
Ginny. Everybody says Ginny from Part 2.
It's tough, man. I mean,
because she uses psychology against them,
Right. Yeah, I really like Ginny.
Ginny's my favorite. And
Yeah.
Kimberly Beck.
Yeah.
Because she's trying to protect her brother too. And she gives Jason some battle damage,
I gotta give a shout out to Melanie Kinnaman too. She kind of held her own. It was with the whatchamacallit, the chainsaw.
Yeah.
Part 5 I feel is so underrated. I feel like it's the most underrated out of all of them.
Yeah, no, it's a cool whoddunit movie.
It's
very sleazy.
Very sleazy.
So it's got that going for it.
Yeah.
But it's a whodunit. It's kind of cool. There's a little bit of mystery in there, and it's got some of the funniest characters.
Oh man, Joey
in a movie. Yeah. Well, just Ethel and Junior.
Will you shut the fuck up?
You dumb dildo. They're funny. They're entertaining. I love Reggie the Reckless.
She made a movie too, Deborah Sue Voorhees.
Yes, 13 Fanboy.
Fanboy. Right.
I wasn't a huge fan, but not a lot of people were. But there's some people that dug it, and it had ideas that were decent in it.
No, I'm not saying it because you're my guest and everything and trying to kiss your ass or anything, but I feel like Victim No More was, for me, way better.
I appreciate that. But this is all subjective stuff. People, like we talked about before, there's people that think Friday the 13th Part 5 is the best Friday the 13th movie. And there's people that are just that's the worst movie ever made.
Right.
Because Jason's not in it or whatever their reasons are.
Or Jason X sucks.
Yeah.
I love Jason X.
But there's people that think it's the best. You just can't tell with Friday fans.
I think we agree, though, with our least favorite of the franchise.
Jason Goes to Hell.
Yes.
It's
Jason Goes to Hell. Yes. I really gave it so many chances, but I'd really just love to see Jason throughout
the effects are the K&B effects are worth the price of admission.
Absolutely.
And
the kill scene in the tent.
Yeah.
In the unrated version.
Right. And what the hell's his name? Who's Stephen Williams?
Duke.
Creighton Duke.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, he's entertaining as hell. But yeah, I mean, I have such a strong passion for these movies that I want to make 2 more. The one that we're making this year and a final one probably in a couple of years. But yeah, I got a lot to say and putting a different spin on what I find interesting, putting that spin into the a fan film of Friday the 13th. And yeah, I just hope some people dig it. Some people it's definitely the movie that we're making now. It's definitely gonna be divisive, but that's fine. People that get it will get it in the sense of how I want them, to get it. And it's just like the regular series. People like or hate certain ones. The same goes for fan films.
Right. Where can they watch Victim No More if they wanted to?
Go to our YouTube channel, 3PD Films, on YouTube, or you could just type in Victim No More. It should come up. You'll see a picture of a hockey mask, so that's what you click. The Loose Ends Victim No More trailer can be seen on the Indiegogo campaign, and also on YouTube. You could see the trailer, and if it sparks an interest, you could donate to the campaign. Every dollar counts. We need all the funds we can. Seriously, like if it's $10, $20, hey, you're feeding somebody on set, and like
absolutely,
you're paying towards like special effects, you're paying towards travel, crew. Our poor DP, our cinematographer that I put through hell while making this. You're paying for him to get a crew. That's what you're paying for. Get a couple of grips in there. But, so we're really looking forward to making it. Follow us on Facebook, Victim No More, and Instagram. Same thing.
I'm going to drop the link on this too. So if you guys got to look for the Indiegogo campaign, please look it up.
Yeah, it should be in the comments, right?
Yeah, I'm going to put it in the comments of what I just reposted off of my Facebook page. And then in a couple of days, I'm going to be doing clips and stuff, and I will attach the link to that.
Yeah. And Jill Whitlow will be back. She was in our first movie. She's coming back for the second movie. Jill Whitlow, she was from the main girl from Night of the Creeps, which we have a little fun like crossover with Friday the 13th, like just a little Creeps reference if you stay through the end credits of Victim No More.
I noticed that one.
Yeah, okay.
I got that.
So she's coming back. She's also in this really cool 80s movie called Twice Dead. She's in Porky's. She's in Weird Science, my favorite comedy of all time.
Party's over, says the
girl. But yeah, Jill's coming back, and I'm trying to work on a couple of more Friday the 13th alumni cameos, but it all depends on how much money we raise. So
well, I'm sure if you get Chris and Stacy involved, I'm sure they could talk to some of their represent who they're representing.
Yeah, well, usually it's up to the actor themselves, like what do they want to do. Like Lauren, she was just down for it after I talked to her about it.
That's cool.
She was very excited, and I don't have to pay too much for travel since she like lives upstate New York and we're on Long Island.
Perfect.
So it's great. You can just drive down, for the weekend or however long it takes.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you for coming on tonight. I have a couple of things I got to plug as well.
Okay. It was a blast.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. Again, Loose Ends, Victim No More. I'm going to drop the link to that. Please check that out. Also, check out Victim No More on the YouTube channel. I highly recommend it. So, tomorrow night, I am opening up for the Capadonna from Wu-Tang Clan at the Cellar on Treadwell in Hamden, Connecticut. It's a stacked lineup. Come down, hang out. It's going to be an awesome gig. Next up for the Demon Scar, we are playing at the Bridge and Tunnel Brewery in Ridgewood, New York, with Scum City, Chum Huffer, Spike, Polite, and Raw Sewage. That's going to be on the 25th. On the 24th, the day before, the Lonely Grave of Paula Schultz will be coming out on Spotify and on Apple Music and Amazon Music and all the streaming sites. So make sure you check that out. That's my first full-length album. Again, I'd like to thank our producer, Tony, for being here tonight. Also like to thank our sponsor, Steve Beery and Mr. Beery's. There's always a fun event going on at Steve's Club. He always is an advocate of the original music on Long Island, so I thank him for that. Monday nights is Mondioki. Tuesday nights is Bring Your Own Vinyl. Wednesday night is video game night. They're trying something new. Xbox, Nintendo 64, assorted games and fun. Thursday night is the best open mic night in Long Island, hosted by Murphy's Music. Friday happy hour is a new thing they're doing with Aaron Harris. He's going to start his own karaoke on Friday nights to get it going. This Friday, on the 10th, Speed Rack Gin, Rose the Band, and Gary Band are going to be there. On the 11th, Something About Ghosts, Dan the Doormat, Skip Lag are going to be on Saturday night. The Cystic Fibrosis show is going to be on the 16th of February. That's a stacked event. There's always like 30 bands, and they're doing it for a good cause for the cystic fibrosis. And I believe this year, he always says it's like the 29th thing, but I believe this is the 30th anniversary of the cystic fibrosis benefit. I got to get the numbers on that. But and also now, on the 23rd of February, I am going to be hosting an alternative and hip-hop matinee at Beery's. I got a bunch of cool different hip-hop artists coming out. Standing Crow is one of them. He's been really helpful with me. He's got a bunch of acts that he's gathering. And if you guys know any DJs that do hip-hop sets and might want to MC, send them my way. That would be awesome, because we are looking for an MC for the night before I have to do it. And if not, whatever. It's all good. Always remember this, too. I am a reverend now, and I can marry you if you want to get married in the untraditional way, or not with the church or whatever. If you want me to come down, I could do all different types of ceremonies. But yes, Reverend Nizza, me. Hit me up, DM me for information about that. I clean up nicely, and I can make your special day even more special. That's about it for this week. Thank you for tuning in to Primal Scream. I'm Nick Graystone, and you're not. Later.
Thank you for listening to Primal Scream. I'm Nick Graystone, a.k.a. The Nizza. Each week, Primal Scream is produced by Tony Walker and executive produced by Demon Scar. Always remember, nobody writes your story but you. Later.